Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great. And yeah, welcome to Sow and Tare live chat. We do this every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And it's a whole lot of fun. Bring you closer. Yeah, so we do this every Monday, and it's a lot of fun. And you should bring all your friends. We talk all things homesteading related, and it's a blast. Sometime we're in the middle, I will have a topic of discussion. And other than that, we're going to answer questions, and you guys can bring up topics of discussion you're interested in talking about tonight. And again, if you're new, if you're not new, let me know who you are, where you're growing stuff, what you're growing, and we will scroll up to the top. Because you guys are here before me, it's going to start off with a bunch of hellos and highs. All right. First thing I see is from Vay's Place. That's Verna. She is my moderator. You'll see her in blue with a little wrench. She catches all the bad guys. And if you are interested in homesteading on a smaller scale in your apartment, her channel is the one to look at. She says, third like, first chat, according to what I see here. LOL. I'm here, but not sure how long I will last tonight. That is okay, Verna. I appreciate you being here. Welcome, welcome. And Andy's right behind her. Welcome, Andy. All right. And PJ's here. Hello, she says. Hello, PJ. Welcome, welcome. And Buster's here, says hey to all. Hi, Buster. All right. Oh my gosh. Verna says, I've been up since Sunday morning. Yeah, go to bed. Go to bed. Have a nice long nap. And hopefully you'll be okay. Yeah, hoping you're able to sleep. Hopefully it's not that kind of issue, and hopefully you're able to go to sleep and wake up refreshed. That is my hope for you. Oh, she says, just overwhelmed with all I had to get ready for today. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Verna says, hey. Diana Tuttle Top Farms here. Welcome, welcome. Hello from cold Kansas. How cold is it over there, Diana? All right. PJ's saying, hey. Cold in Ohio, too, Verna says. We don't really have cold. I know I'm wearing this, but, it is rainy. So, as you guys know, I check the precipitation, and this morning's check, it was, what was it? It was 0.65 of an inch. And then when I got home, I went up to San Jose for work, and when I got home, I just glanced at it, and it was probably around 1/10 of an inch. So it did rain more in San Jose than it did here during the day, but it's still raining. So hey, it's all right. And we're supposed to get rain for quite some time. All right. People are saying hello. Hey, Buster. Ed's here. Ed got bait. Hey, I'm like number 6. Hi, everyone. Hi, Ed. Welcome. Joy's here. Hi, all from Western Oregon. Hello, Joy. I hope that you are doing good and everybody in your family is doing good. That is my hope for you tonight. And Ken says Jello. Jello back to you, Ken. Hope you're doing good. Welcome back. Andy Rabbit says, oh, okay. PJ says rainy and cold in New York. Yeah. It is rainy here. It's not really cold, but it's rainy. I think this might be the first time I actually used my rain jacket this year. Maybe second time. I don't know. But this, when I say year, I mean season. Here where I live, we get fall, like late fall to early spring. That's our rainy season. And then it's like doesn't rain at all the rest of the year. So that's what I mean by year. All right. Everybody's wishing Verna good health. Oh, you used your KitchenAid last night and you love it. That is good. Yeah. KitchenAids, I have that as well. And it's worth it. It's worth it. And I think there's still price like sales right now. I think I saw like Best Buy might have them on sale. Oh no, it's KitchenAid, one of those things that when they go on sale in one place, they go on sale everywhere. I know Canon's like that, and is it Weber Grills? I think Weber's also like that. If it's on sale in one place, it's multiple places. So yeah. PJ's saying woohoo, Verna. Yep. Yeah, Andy, a KitchenAid mixer. She got it a while ago, actually. 27 degrees, Diana says. Wow. Oh no. Joy says, fell backwards down the stairs going up to water the upstairs cubbies. Ooh. I'm hoping that you're okay. Not a doctor, but I recommend icing wherever you think you landed. And Epsom salt baths, I recommend. So again, not medical advice. But if that happened to me, that's what I would do. So I hope you are feeling better soon, because that sucks. Yeah. Buster's saying congratulations on your KitchenAid, Verna. Absolutely. And Andy loves her KitchenAid mixer. Yeah. Oh, Verna got attachments for Christmas. Yeah. Well, how do you know what you got already? We're doing a no gift Christmas except for my niece. So I think I already know what I got is hugs. Oh, PJ had flooding today? Oh my gosh. How much flooding? So much flooding, apparently. But hopefully people are okay. Did your house get flooded? Wow. Yeah, hopefully people are okay. Diana says about 40 was the high today. Wow. What is it right now? I have bright lights in my face, so I can't see it. I don't know what it is. It's probably in the 60s. That won't help me. That just tells me what it is inside. 66 inside. That's what I have it set at. Oh, Joy says, tore a muscle in my shoulder. Nothing serious, just painful. Well, I'm glad nothing serious. Shoulders are tricky. Shoulders are super tricky, and tearing a muscle is never good. So, yeah, make sure you follow instructions from your medical professional. And I believe Epsom salt and icing will help. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. 28 at Verna's place. All right. Oh, the KitchenAid was a Christmas present to yourself. Oh, man. Orlando's here. Welcome, Orlando. It's been a while since we saw you. Hello to everyone. Question. I currently have a bebe quail hatching right now. Congratulations. But they are dying. Anyone have any idea why? Are they still in the incubator? So, are they still in the incubator? How old are... I just moved things. How old are they? So like, how long? Okay. 1, when did they start hatching? 2, are they still in the incubator? 3, if you took them out, were they dry and fluffy? Answer those questions. If they were not dry and fluffy, put them back in the incubator because they are getting too cold. If they are out of the incubator, they need to be in conditions that are like 99 degrees, really warm. So let me know if you are using a brooder plate or a light, and we'll go from there. So when I get those answers, I will help you try and figure out what's going on. And hopefully we can have them stop dying. All right. Verna says, the 2 attachments I got for Christmas, both from my heart kids. Aw. Yay. Yeah, and PJ's asking, are they still in the brooder or incubator? Verna says, wind chill is 26 degrees. Wind chill is a lot. So they're still in the incubator. How long have they been in the incubator? Oh, Verna had Christmas. That's why you were up. Your Christmas tonight. PJ is asking good questions. In the incubator, what is the temp and humidity? And I'll skip down, and then I'm gonna read the rest of people's comments. Because we're dealing with something right now. Temperature 994, humidity between 70 to 80. And then when did they hatch? Ooh, good question. Good point. Verna says, is the vent opened? So if your incubator has, what incubator are you using? Like the Hovabators have a little red plug, and you pop that out when you put them on lockdown. The Brincia, the little ones, didn't have that, and they were fine. But what happens is they basically they expel carbon monoxide, dioxide, one of those. When that happens, and that can saturate the air, and basically they use up the oxygen. That could be one thing. And then if it's too high, if it's 80, you're saying they're hatched and then they die? Because I don't think that would be an issue. That would be more of an issue of dying in the egg if the humidity was too high. 15 to 20 minutes later, they die. Yeah. Is there a plug somewhere on your incubator? Is there like a little red round plug, or somebody, you guys help me. What do your incubators look like that have those? Basically the oxygen gets used up, and they get the carbon dioxide in them, and they get carbon dioxide poisoning. I've never had that happen, but that is definitely a possibility. Your temperature's good, your humidity. If they're hatching, it would go up. So when they hatch, they go up. You use Little Giant incubator, and yes, the vent is open. Okay, they're hatching literally right now. The vent is open. Your temperature is 99.4. Your humidity is a little high, but they're hatching. And they just started today. So you've hatched before, right? This isn't your first hatch? Yeah, Andy, he says he does have the vent is open. It does have the red plug. He says it's open. Oh, good question. Verna says, are you using a thermometer like a Govee in the incubator? So do you have a secondary thermometer? But if they're hatching, then conditions should be okay. But they're dying. Orlando, you kind of have me stumped. But they're hatching right now. It's not like they hatched 3 days ago. They're hatching like today, and they're dying an hour later, immediately. Like, what's the time? Within 15 minutes of hatching? That's what Verna says. Okay. Let me scroll back up, see if I missed anything. Is the air hole open for them? Verna said, yeah, it is. 15 to 20 minutes later, they died. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of too, Verna, is that the humidity might be too high. Now, when I've had them hatch, I have had the humidity spike pretty high when they're hatching, and that's just because everybody's wet and it's going. So dying within 15 minutes of hatching. Oh, you're asking what day it is? Do you think they've been in for too long, maybe? Okay. Yeah. So Orlando, you've hatched quail before, right? I'm just wondering if this incubator, okay, what I'm wondering is, one, is the incubator, has it been used successfully before? And then 2, are you familiar with how they act and all that? Sometimes they do like collapse and go to sleep, just like PJ said, they look dead, then they're not. You have hatched before. Okay. And when was the last time you cleaned this? Because there can be a bacterial load that, you might not be able to see, but if you haven't cleaned it, that might be impacting things. I would think that it would impact things before now, though. Trying to help you out. Yeah, and they are dying. Okay, I'm gonna go through this just because I want to make sure I'm not missing something. So temperature's good, humidity is a little high, but they're hatching, so it might be a spike. It also might just be a little high, and they might be drowning. So, they hatch and die 15, 20 minutes later. Are they gasping when they drop? Like, are they doing this with their beak? Like, because I'm wondering if they're getting the water into their lungs and they are drowning or not. Incubator's new. Okay. Incubator's new. I didn't think it was your first time hatching. He didn't answer how he knows what the temp is. Yeah, so are you using a secondary thermometer with your incubator? Because sometimes the incubator stuff, like the temperature and stuff on the readout, isn't what's really going on, and you often need a secondary measuring device. So that's a good question. But they're hatching. The only thing I can think of is that their humidity might be too high. Does anybody else have anything to any other obvious things? Verna says could be too hot or too cold. Yeah, I mean, if it's too hot, that could happen, but they're hatching. So like if it's too hot, they wouldn't hatch. I don't know. Orlando, I want people to chime in here, and we'll give them a minute to kind of think, because I think if it's 80% humidity, I don't really want to advise that you take off the lid, because then things will shrink wrap, but I kind of want to advise to take off the lid, and don't do it until see what the community says and chimes in. If that humidity is too high at 80, would you take off the lid and let some out? And that's something that we need to think about before we do. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go up. There was one comment up there, and then I had Joy is having comments too. So I'm gonna read those while the community posts stuff, and we can talk about it. PJ said, my house doesn't flood. I'm out of flood zone, but roads are closed because of it. Hopefully you have enough food, right? And electricity. Hopefully. All right. Joy says, I just had 43 of my 5-week-olds die. They're fully feathered. I put them in 8x8 foot pen in my barn. The dead ones all were in the corners, like they're cold. So I put a heat lamp in for them, and they're all huddled under it like they're cold. I've never had this happen before when I've put birds in cages. Just in this setup, they have pine shavings for bedding. Yeah, so you said 3-week-olds? Man, quail are on the question menu, huh?
They have no power.
Okay. I'm doing a live. You want me to let them know? When Wells work, their power closed, so they didn't have work. I don't know why he needs you to know that. He just told me that as he walked out. Yeah, so when babies, so 5-week-olds should be fine. But they'd still need to be weaned off the heat no matter what age. So like if they're inside and then they get kicked outside and it's 30 at night, that could have an impact potentially. But if you wean them by, like how I wean mine off the heat is I end up about two and a half weeks, depending on what the temperature is kind of in the house. I take off the brooder plate, and then with that, I start opening the window. So I crack it open a little more, and then at some point that whole room is cold, and the rest of the close the door, the rest of the house is warm, and then they go outside. So I wonder if it's something just seasonal, Joy, because they shouldn't need added heat at 5 weeks old at all. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Vicky says, hi, Vicky. Says, I am starting my first veggie garden since 2004. What are you growing and when are you starting seeds? I'm in Sacramento Valley. Vicky, I should have started seeds a while ago. I haven't started anything. I have borage coming up. If you haven't planted borage, now's the time to do that. And if you're doing things like flax, you could throw those seeds out now. I was going to start peas before we got this rain. I may or may not get to that before I leave for Christmas. But peas and fava beans are good to do now that we're getting rain. And garbanzo beans are good now that we're getting rain. Those will all go through our winters where we are. So not where everybody else is, but where our climate is. And lettuces and greens. So if you do beet greens or beets or chard and then lettuces, that's what I would do. Okay, Verna says they will hatch if too cold, then die afterwards. Okay, I've never had that happen, but that could be. All right, I'm going to skip ahead to Orlando, then come back because Orlando's in crisis mode. All right, he says, I put the egg at December 1st and the hatching today, but they are coming out of the egg, running around for 20 minutes and die. So you're on track day-wise. I mean, they started hatching today. It might be a little late, but it's a little late. So yeah, your incubator might be running cold. And that's what Verna says. And Andy Rabbit says, if a little giant incubator, which I think he did say it was, I open a window and let the humidity out. If water drops are on, if the water droplets are in the window, I wipe them off. I don't open the lid, just the windows one at a time. Okay, that's the window. That's good to know. Yeah, I think that's probably the best advice. Orlando, what Andy Rabbit wrote. The Little Giant has those windows that you can open, and she's saying to open them and wipe off the water, and I think or off the droplets. If it's 80%, you're gonna have condensation you're gonna have water droplets on the inside of that. So that's what I would do. All right, I'm gonna go back up. We're creative reading today. Okay, Joy says, oh, we already read that. Okay, Joy says they're all huddled under it like they're cold. I've never has happened. Okay, we read that. PJ says if a little too hot, they will hatch a bit early. If too cold, they'll hatch later. Yep. Yeah, and so I think with this, it looks like it might be a little too cold. Yeah. That's what it looks like to me. PJ says, I have mice and challah to eat. Okay. PJ, do you want to come on? I'm going to have to scroll down to look at your answer. If you want to come on and talk about it, we can do that for like 5 minutes. Okay, I scroll down. I don't see you. No, she doesn't want. She's probably in your PJs. I will bring it here. Let me scroll up to where I was. I lost where I was. Hang on, guys. Okay, I will bring mice and challah. Give me a minute. All right, you guys are lucky. One of my neighbors wasn't home. These are hers. So for Katrina's Kits monthly Cook With Me Live, we made challah and we made mice on snow. If you guys saw the weekend review, then you have already seen these guys, but hopefully I don't mess up my neighbor's mouse. Well, anyway, they look like this. They're little mice on little Oreo cookies. They're called Mice on Snow, and they're very cute. And we made those while we were waiting for bread to rise. And the bread that we did is a Jewish bread. Okay, it's a Jewish bread, and oh boy. Well, it's in this bread bag. I'm going to just pull out one end. It's a braided bread, and I'm going to get crumbs everywhere, but that's okay. You guys are special. So this is what it looks like. It's very pretty. It's very yummy, and it uses saffron. I put black sesame seeds on it. It calls for either sesame seeds or poppies seeds, and I just chose black sesame seeds because that's what I had. And I need to put this right here so it doesn't fall over. Maybe. Okay. So yeah, that is what we did. That is what PJ is talking about. And yeah, we had a lot of fun. If you would like to be a Katrina's Kit and join us for next month, and put the links here. And we had a lot of fun, and it was great. And you will be able, if you sign up now, you'll be able to watch the previous ones, live chats, except for they won't be live. So, yeah. All right. So Verna's responding to Joy. It could be that they are not handling the sudden change in weather. Okay. That's true if things change that much, but at 5 weeks old, I would expect that they would be okay with that change, because they're pretty feathered out. And Joy says, hasn't been that cold here. They've been out there for a week, weaned off heat before I took them. Okay, so they were fine for a week and then just suddenly had this issue. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, so PJ's saying, Joy, did they just go out cold turkey from heat that might affect them? So she said they got weaned off of the heat. So I don't know, Joy. And they're huddled like they're cold. What is the temperature? I mean, it shouldn't matter because they're 5 weeks old and they should be fine. But what is the temperature where they are? I can't imagine it's like, I mean, you're in Oregon, so it wouldn't be like negative right now. Verna says, ever turn the incubator off, done with hatch, wait a few hours before dumping it out and find one hatching and dies? I found one hatched and it was fine and it lived. I haven't found one hatching and dies, but I'm sure it happens. Yeah. Hey, Val's here. Welcome, Val. Welcome. Says, hello, everyone. Oh, and Steve's here. Welcome, Steve. Hey, y'all. 7:30. I knew I was too early, so I got distracted and came in late. Fashion. We're going fashion really late, Steve, right? Welcome. All right. That's PJ saying no, she doesn't want to come on. She told you. Was that PJ? She told me. Yeah. It's okay. We had fun. Val says my birds that I was having difficulty sexing were 11 out of 12. You had boys, huh? That's why they were difficult, because they're all boys. Well, good luck next time. I would definitely get more ladies. that would be better, and take care of the one you have or start over. That is unfortunate. And sometimes that happens where you're like, oh, I want girls, I want boys, like this hatch that I just recently did, which we'll bring out a baby here soon. This hatch that I most recently did is I want males. So my goal with this bunch, I have two goals. One is I want to replace my breeders in the aviary. And two, I want to show something specific for Quail University. So I am going to be making some videos for Quail University for raising quail in aviaries. Actually, I haven't done this in a while. There is a Quail University 101 course out right now, and I'm going to put my affiliate link. I know a lot of people on here have already taken that course. It's very affordable, and that's something that you can do if you haven't done, and you can do it anywhere in the world. It's at your own pace. I don't remember how much it is, 40 something. I don't know if that has changed or not, but it is a really, really good course. Yeah. All right. Joy says there was no heat in there for them until after I found a bunch dead. The rest were fluffed up and standing together, so I put a heat lamp in for them. There was 83 of them in there, all sold. Ooh. Okay, so let's think of it as not a heat related issue. Have you weighed them? Or how are their weights? Are they too skinny? Because that could indicate a parasite or a disease. I'm just trying to think of what other than temperature, because it doesn't seem like temperature should be affecting them at that age, especially where you live. And that they were weaned from the heat. I would also have you check when the last time was you cleaned your water system, because those can get bacteria growth. And I don't yet have a regimen to do that, but that is a potential source. Yeah, so do you know if they're losing weight? Because that can indicate a health concern. Are they eating as much? And then making sure their water system's clean. Those are my thoughts. All right. Babam? What is babam? Or Steve? Oh, the link, maybe. PJ says it's so much fun. If you want to see PJ, you gotta sign up. We had so much fun. We're a small group so far. It was PJ, Mandy, and me. We had a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun, and man, it's fun. All right. Oh, okay. That's another. So they're in a. We're talking about Joy's birds again. They're in a hutch, or they're in a cage system. And Verna brought up a good point that AI is going around again. Hopefully you don't have that in your covey, but that is always a possibility. I know we just got a reported case in San Benito County, which is right next to me. You're Sacramento County, right? Joy, not Joy. Never mind, that's Vicky. I'm getting Vicky's location and Joy's location mixed up. I don't know why. They're in different states. But yeah, that would be. It could be something like that. Hopefully not. Diana has a suggestion for Orlando. If this was the first use of the incubator, did you rinse it before use? I always rinse in case something from factory contaminated it. just something I always do. So that brings up another point, is if you are also cooking with Teflon, the off-gassing of that can kill birds. I don't know how quickly. I don't know anything other than that. It's up to you to look up that information. But that is a very good point, Diana. That is a very good point. An off-gassing of something from somewhere. It could be incubator or it could be otherwise. So think about that as well. I would think that would have an effect on the eggs before hatching, just because the eggs are, I mean, they're permeable, they're gas permeable. But I don't know that for sure. That is excellent. Excellent point, Diana. Yeah, Joy says, I thought it was strange they were piled in the corner. Yeah, if they're piled in the corner, that would indicate that they're cold. And so what I was trying to figure out is, why would they be cold? If they're feathered, if they're fully feathered, why would they be cold? And the answer to that for me is that they don't have enough fat, or they don't have enough body mass to stay warm. Unless there's a wind, there's like a cold draft, like a cold wind. If it's windy and they don't have a wind block, that would be another thought. Yeah. And Diana says, I hope you get this issue resolved. I agree. I also have that same hope. Yeah. PJ says, Joy, possibly they were startled and jumped and banged head. Others hurtled because they're scared. Just thinking here. Sometimes when one bird jumps, multiple birds jump because they're just like, oh my gosh, you're flushing, I need to flush too. You know, they are prey animals, and they do act like prey animals. So that's something to think about. And when they act like prey animals, sometimes they're just doing something because they need to get away, because their neighbor here said, oh, it's time to get away. So that is a potential thing as well. But to have them actually pile in the corner, that sounds more like they're cold. Orlando's thanking everyone. You're welcome. I'm hoping that one of these things is the answer. And it may be what Diana's saying. It may just be that it's a new incubator. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds very odd. And I mean, yeah, I wish you luck, and I hope that the whole hatch doesn't happen like this. Is there another incubator that you have that you can move these into? Because I would do that at this point. I would warm up an incubator and move them. Maybe, steam up the shower in the bathroom so you have a humid environment where you can do that, and move it into another incubator if you have another one available to use as a hatcher. I think that's personally what I would do. Yeah. Verna says, sounds very possible. pH, like pH level. I don't know what pH means, Verna. Yeah. Joy says, the ones in the corner were all flat, like they were cold and pulled up for warmth. They could have been trampled too. Nothing can get to where they're at. Okay. Yeah. Val says it's hard introducing just one to the original covey. So do you have another group that has, so you have your 12. Do you have other quail, like other Caternix quail that are not you had Goldens, right? That are not your Goldens or Manchurians or whatever. Because they can live together at least until you get what you want. Maybe. Yeah. Val, remind me if you have them in a hutch or cage or an aviary, because there's methods I use in an aviary to put them together, and it works great. Yes, this is chocolate milk tonight. So for an aviary, I have deep bedding, which means it is wood chips about that deep, and basically that's a carbonaceous diaper. you turn the manure into, and it works really well, and you get compost as a result. And so with that, it's really important to have that mixture there just for compost. But when you are introducing birds, if you do it closer to evening time and then churn up all of that stuff, and all the other birds in there are super busy. They're like, oh, I want this. Oh, there's a bug. Oh, I'm going to go after that. Oh, I'm going to do this. And they're just busy. You're giving them something to do. They're distracted. And at that point, you can introduce in, and I have introduced one before. It was out of the jumbo wilds, and it ended up being mostly white with some wild markings. And I didn't want that in the same aviary. So at the time I had a mixed group in the other aviary. So I did introduce her into there by herself, and she did completely fine. So the key is distraction, and then doing it in the evening so that they wake up and they're like, oh, welcome to the family. And I don't think I've ever had any like really negative stuff. I mean, they do have to reorganize the pecking order, but I don't think I've ever had anything bad happen with introducing quail to other quail. Yeah. I know I've only ever had one jerk. And that was that was it. Yeah. All right. Andy Rabbit says, when I hatch my own eggs, I always want more roosters, but I always get more hens every time. So roosters is what I want now, but I also want hens because the hens grow faster and they grow bigger. And so like hens are really good for meat, and roosters, I mean, the boys are too, but I'm wanting them for breeding. So yeah, but they don't get as big as the hens typically. Yeah. Val says, I never want roosters as I don't eat them. I eat the eggs. They don't make very good tasting eggs, do they? Yeah. All right. Joy says they're eating and drinking fine. LOL. I always seem to get strange things. Hey, keeping life interesting, Joy. Have to check on AI. Yeah, because my understanding is for chickens, AI affects things rather quickly. And it goes through a flock very quickly. I don't know anything about AI in quail, except for I believe Steve had some data that they tested it, or some were tested and they can get it. But it doesn't seem like they are getting a whole lot of coveys. Probably because they don't, tend to free range and stuff like that where chickens do in backyard flocks. Yeah. Andy says, if it keeps happening, Joy, think about your feed. That is also, yeah, if your feed is moldy, that would be good to check. And then, does it smell funny? You might check that. Does it smell different than their other bags? Yeah, that's a good point, Andy. Yeah, I don't know how bad feed would make them act like they're cold. That's the part I'm trying to get into the mix. Val says fly spray will kill. So if you've done any spraying for flies, like a pesticide, that is something good to check for sure. And good idea. Andy says you might want to put a camera on them. Yeah. And Joy says, thanks all, gives me things to check and ponder on. Awesome. All right. So we got Orlando thinking on things. We got Joy thinking on things. Who else need help? Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully you'll get to kind of work your way through and figure out what's going on, and let us know, of course, once you find out. Verna says, was supposed to say PJ. What did you say? Oh, okay. I was like, how do you know what the pH is? Andy said, anytime I get a few rabbits or quail dies in a short time, my first thought is maybe the feed. Yeah, that would make sense. that would make sense. Diana's laughing at Verna. Val says, yes, I have 50 there and 6x6 cages. I use carbonaceous diaper system in the chickens. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you might just integrate the little girl in with your other ones and call it good for now. And if you're not eating them, find someone that wants them to eat. And that shouldn't be too hard to find, but I don't know about where you are if people do that or not. All right. Verna says also, if it is feed, that can kill a covey as well. Not enough carbs or protein. Yeah, you might look at what your feed is and see if there's been a recall, and then also just smell it and see if you have some other bags and all of that. See if it looks different visually. Yeah. Joy says the bag they're on is more dusty than the others. No, and she hasn't been using spray. If it's more dusty, then they're probably not getting. So the way the crumbles work, they first make them into pellets, and every pellet has to have a certain amount of nutrient of every kind of, on the back of the bag, they have ranges. That means it's supposed to be in every pellet. Now, when you do the crumbles, all crumbles are crushed up pellets. So basically, when they eat those crumbles, they should have that. If they're down to dust and they're eating the dust, they're not going to be getting all of the same nutrients potentially that are in a crumble form. So that could be an issue. Yeah, it could be an issue. In fact, that's going to be true for any animal that has, pellet feed or crumble feed. The powder is going to have kind of a different consistency, a different kind of makeup as the rest of it. I just got some. Excuse me. Did I even show you guys this? I think I did. I think it was in the last week in review. I showed you guys the rabbit feeder with the screen bottom. It's working out good so far. I put it in with. I'm going to have a video on that. I put it in with risotto because she decided she was going to push her feeder out, even though it has a little wire, securing it. She didn't want it where it was, and I think it was hard to get to. And at that point there was some dust buildup in the bottom, some food dust. So with this new system, it has a screen bottom so that dust falls through, which I think is probably going to be a pretty good deal. Yeah. And Verna's asking where Joy got the feed from, and it's not good. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, as my 5-year-old grandson said, when I explained that my rabbits were for food, I had to use hamburger and milk to get him to understand. Then he said, oh, so boys are for food and girls are for milk. Okay. It works. Oh, they're for milk and get to live. And then he says, oh, okay. And off he ran. Well, at least he understands, right? Verna, go to bed. She said, I've been up for 38 hours. Go to bed. We can say goodnight to you. And yeah, you can sleep for like a day. Joyce says, it is a special made for a local feed store. I will check the next bag to see if the crumbles are less dust and more crumble. Yeah. Verna says, yeah, Joy, you got the end of the run and that isn't good. So that may be like they made a batch, and then they filling the bag. And by the time they got to that bag, it might just been all the stuff in the end. And I would ask for a refund on that. For sure, if that's the case. Yeah. Val says, Andy Rabbit, most male species are only for eating. Yep. Oh, Lucy needs to go out one more time? Well, once she goes out, you go to bed, Verna. Steve says, I mix my end of bag with my newly opened bag for a better mix. That's probably a good practice. I don't do that, but well, I kind of do that. I mean, I have like for my long-term feeders, I'll pour one bag in and then another bag in, but I'm sure they get some of each of it, based on how it gets eaten down. But yeah, that's a really good idea. And Joy is agreeing. Andy says, Katrina, if they keep pushing the feeder out, put a tiny zip tie through the wire screen and around the cage. It helped with my rabbits. Andy, we had a wire that was holding it. And so she was like wanting it out. So she like broke the wire. She'd probably chewed through it. Not good for teeth, and she wanted it out. And so I don't know why she wanted it out, but since we put the new one in, it's been working fine. But yeah, so I did do that when Meatball was in that hutch and she had a baby fall out, that hole, if the feeder comes out, there's a hole, and she had a baby fall out that was running around, and I think I got to it pretty quick, because the chickens were like, what's that? And they started chasing it. So it was fine. Yeah. Verna says that's what she does with the feed. Yeah. Yeah, Joy. So Joy's saying, I never thought of the end of the run bag. I mean, it has to be probably the most dust and most powder at that point, I would think. Yeah. All right. And Verna says, yeah, Joy, the end of the run bag should have been tossed, but they wanted their pennies at your expense. Yep. Unfortunately. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen again. Yeah, Joy says that makes sense. It may be that, because if they're not getting enough protein or fat, then they would be not having as much fat or body mass, which would make them cold. So that kind of follows pattern. Verna says, Katrina, I think Mooney has weaned her kits already. Yesterday morning, they were all over her, and she would not stand for it. I haven't seen them nurse since then. Verna, it's so funny because, like, I see this happen where, like, they're chasing down mom. There's always going to be one that's always going to be chasing down mom. And I think with at least, like, Meatball, she just didn't want to be bothered until it was nursing time. And then she would let everybody nurse. And so she might not want it then, and she might actually be nursing them, like, in the middle of the night, or she just might be done with it. So she may have weaned them, or she may be working on it. Yeah. Joy, the birds were sold at $5 each. Oh no. That sucks, because 5 week old, and they should, usually when you hit 5 weeks, they're golden. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, it doesn't matter much anymore. First bag, middle bag, or last bag, the powder is starting to get more and more, even with rabbit feed. I have noticed that with my rabbit feed. I have noticed that for sure, that there's a lot of powder in it. And I mean, it sucks, but at least where my rabbits are, I think I probably will go to all of those feeders, at least for the ladies. We'll see how this new buck adjusts when he goes into Parmesan space. And that won't be for a while. But see, if that one's fine for him, we'll keep it. But with the ladies, when they have, lots of food in there because they have babies, they actually get quite a bit of dust buildup very quickly. And like, you could be checking every few days and still miss a bunch. But I have noticed that too. Yeah. Val says, I took the heat plate out of my other chicks 5 weeks old. I'm going downstairs to make sure they aren't cold. They're in my utility room. Yeah, so the heat plate, they should be good at 5 weeks old because they should be, they're fully feathered, but having that gradual, lift it up, and go from there. So that's something else for people that are, not all heat plates instructions say this, but when I got a Brincia one, which stopped working after the warranty, so I need to get more, that they work in like 50, the room has to be at least 55 degrees for at least Brincia to work correctly. And so that's something you need to look at is what does your heat plate say, and what's the, what ambient temperatures does it work. So right now I have a rural coop, which I like, and I have a Tractor Supply Producer's Pride, which I don't really like. It's really meant for chickens. If someone were to make, it's very hot, like it's much hotter to the touch than the rural, whatever that one is. And the Brincia, it is much hotter to the touch, and it's actually warm on top. So Brincia was never warm on top. Did I post a brooder? I recorded it. I don't know if I posted it. I did a brooder review. Anybody remember watching it? Did I post it? Brooder plate. So anyway, my point is that with the Tractor Supply one, Producer's Pride, if the legs the increments that they go up is like that much, and for quail you want the increments to be like this big, so it goes up and up and up and up and up, and not just like boink. So if someone has like a 3D printer, they could make a lot of money to make 3D printed legs for quail on those things, because I do like the heat plate. And what I do is I turn the legs upside down for the first, when you put them in when they're little babies, and then I raise it up on random things. Yeah. Let's see. Verna says they will be 4 weeks old tomorrow. Very good. Very good. And yeah, and Steve said at 5 weeks, Val, they will be good. They should be good. Yeah. And Joy is saying the feed makes a lot of sense. Let us know what they, if you talk with them, what they say. See if they've had other complaints. Yeah. And Andy Rabbit says, so much in the rabbits feed. For a bit, I told the feed store I was going to stop buying from them if they didn't get it under control. 2 weeks not going to the feed store, they really noticed I was gone. Wow. And Val says, I hope so. I gave them really deep bedding. That's good. Joy says, I've been raising all my quail on this feed for a long time now. I hope they haven't changed the formula. I'm going to check on some of the older feed tags. Yeah. Andy Rabbit's going to hop on out. Good night, y'all, she says. Good night, Andy Rabbit. I hope you have a good time. And we'll see you next time. Val says the Brincia one isn't good. Some are really hot for humans. Yeah, so the Brincia ones are hot. See, the Brincia one that I had, and maybe I got a wonky one to begin with. The heat plate is what we're talking about. The Brincia one that I have, well, I don't use anymore. It took forever to heat up, and then it kept a pretty good temperature, and the birds were happy under it. If I put the Producer Pride one in there, they prefer that, but I think it's too hot for them. Like, I really, really do. I think it's too hot because it is like hot to the touch. But I really like the rural. What is it called? I think it's the chicken. Somebody knows what it is. Heat plate, rural. Heat plates for chickens. Let's see what it is. Yeah, it's this one. This one says it's my favorite chick. Okay, does it actually have a name? Anyway, it's the one with the yellow legs, and it has a picture of a chicken on top. They have a brand, but apparently no one wants to tell me. And that's okay. I'm done looking. Okay. Steve says, you did the brooder plate with the double bin brooder. Oh, I showed the brooder with the double one, but did I do a brooder plate, the heat plate, brooder plate review? Yeah, I did do that. I did show that. So if you don't have a brooder like a huge brooder like mine, and you don't want one, or you want yours to be seasonal, you can actually take two like Sterilite the clear tubs, and cut a hole in between them, tape them with like painter's tape, and you have a brooder that's two sizes, that has double the size. So I did do a video on that. Yeah. Andy says, Joy, I once was told if you put your trust in just one feed company, it will fail you one day. That's sad. That's sad. Joy says, I noticed a while back it was getting more dusty and mentioned it to them. I'm going to do it again. I know another person that's using it. I'm going to talk to him and see if he's had any trouble. That is a really, really, really good thing to do, for sure. Steve. Oh my gosh. They are all fine, Val says. The plates? Yeah. Rural King, see, that's what's in my head, but no, we don't have that here. That's a Midwest thing. It's Rent-A-Coop? Is that what it is? Rent-A-Coop heat plate. It's not that one, but it looks like that one. It's called Rural something or something Rural. Here it is. Rural 365 chick heating plate, brooder plate. That's what it is. It is, yeah. I'm going to put a link here. I'm just showing you guys what it is. That's the plate. It's probably too long. I don't know. It just looks very long. Yeah, Rural 365 is what it is. Val says, I have one of those plates. They get hot. There's a bigger yellow one. I don't know the brand, but I found it best for quail. Yeah, the bigger yellow one with the black legs that you twist to turn to rise. That's a Brincia one, and that's the one that I really liked that went bad. Yeah, I like that one, but it went bad, so maybe I don't like it. All right. Well, should I go get a baby birdie? You guys want to see baby quail? So we're a week and a couple days, week and a few days old. I'll go get one. I think the light's off in there, so we're gonna have a rude awakening. I'll be right back. All right. We want to see the exact one from last week. Steve? Sure, here he is. Hi, you see yourself? What do you think? You guys hear him? Hey, babe. Oh, well, there's the butt. I was going to show him your side. There you go. There's a good side shot. Whoop. So, there is little birdie. I know, babe. Much bigger. They grow so fast. So fast. Hi. You're very tall. You're so tall. All right. So the peeping, so they were sleeping. I went in and rudely woke them up. And he always talking to his brethren. And we do see the tail is starting to grow. You guys see the tail right there? And the wings. Hi. I know, I'm just getting your wing. I know, I'm just getting your wing. I know you don't like it. But, well, okay, it's not going to let me. Anyway, the wings are starting to come in with the wing feathers. And, woo! Hi, where are you going? Where are you going, bub? Where are you going? I know. So, there he is. You want to go back, huh? I know. You were sleeping. So, that is Katrinix quail, little over a week old. Honey, what? Where are you going? Where are you going? All right, I'm going to go put them back. Anybody have questions while I still have them out? You have a question? Why are you out? We'll put you back, bud. All right, I'm going to put them back. You guys still hear him? Oh, boy. All right. So no one said anything after Steve's. We want to see the exact same one from last week. If you could say something, I do not see it. All right. So the topic of the week, I guess it's topic of the week. Topic of the night. As we head into Christmas time and travel time and all of that, we can talk about what you do when you go away. So I know some people say if you have animals, you can't go away, but there are things you can do to go away on vacation or family or whatever. And so I share with you what I do when I go away for my animals. So number one, everybody is on automatic water except for this brooder. They do go through quite a bit of water. So, and I don't really have like a faucet that's on all the time in the house. But everybody outside, the rabbits, the quail, the chickens all have automatic water that will never run out anytime. And that also has to do with where I am. We don't really freeze here. If we do freeze, it freezes very briefly and then warms up the next, in the daytime. So I'm able to do that. Some people aren't able to do that now, but they're able to do it in the summer. I think everybody should be able to do it in the summer. And so that's one thing. Another thing, for my quail and for my chickens, I have long-term feeders. Really, nobody needs to feed them for me except for the babies in the brooder. You could set up, depending on their age, you could set up a long-term feeder in there. It would just have to, the weight would have to be supported somehow. And that doesn't work with my current setup unless it was like over, you know, how it hangs over the side or something. These could be invented, but basically, except for when I have babies in the brooder, the only thing people have to do for me is feed my rabbits. So rabbits should not have 24/7 food unless they are, you know, they have babies. And then it's like, okay, mom, you eat your buffet. And so you actually do want to limit the food for rabbits. And so that's something that needs to happen every day. And really, you only have to feed them once a day, and that's fine. And I leave it up to whoever's watching them whether or not they want to collect eggs. So I'm not putting that responsibility on people, but they can collect them if they want to. And I don't have that many right now. And, you know, if I was selling them, you know, maybe I would have that person's name on the paperwork that says, yes, this person can wash eggs for me. That might be a different story, but I currently don't have like a whole bunch of egg clientele. So that's what I do for mine. And pretty much there's several neighbors that know where things are. If I have an emergency and I need somebody to feed something, there's enough neighbors that have keys to my place and have, you know where things are or can be told where things are, that they can do this. We most recently had the neighbor kid look after stuff the last couple of trips I went on, and he did a fabulous job. Paid him for that, and that was good. I'm going to be gone for Christmas. Manuel's going to be here, so he's going to be watching the animals. And I'll probably end up calling him to remind him to feed the rabbits. And so that's something that is really easy for the way I have it set up, but can be pretty complicated for people, especially if you're really rural and all of that. So it's good to have a couple people in your network, even if they're like on the other side of town or something like that, that you can rely on them and they can rely on you, that if you need to leave, then they'll take care of your stuff and you'll take care of theirs. And so that's something I think is worth developing in your area. And then the other option is there are farm sitters. There are farm sitters, there are pet sitters, there are, all these people that you can hire to come in, and they do that professionally. So I don't know how exactly those work, but I know that they exist, and I know some people that have had good experiences with them with their dogs. I'm assuming that you would want someone to come in and be trained on how you do things in your life with your animals, but those are options. So yeah. Steve says, poor guy, by next week they'll be at the gangly stage. They're at the hoppy stage right now, where they hop. Yep. You call it the ugly stage. BJ, you are excused. You're okay to take the phone call. Steve's asking no live next week, next 2 weeks. So next week for sure, no live. I'm going to be in Wisconsin and it is Christmas, so no live then. I was going to ask if people were interested in having a live on New Year's Eve, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, if you guys would be interested in. I don't want to be like sitting here talking to one person or two people or whatever, like all the way to midnight or whatever. But yeah, let me know if you guys are interested. And then I don't know yet if I have plans for New Year's or not. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you would like to be here, I might do something short, I might do something long, I might not do it. So that other one is up in the air. And I will put a community post. So on the community page, I will put that closer to that time. But yeah, definitely not on Christmas. And then on New Year's, look for a post on whether or not that's going to happen, because I haven't made that decision yet. And if you're not already signed up for notifications, you can check that when you're where you go to subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed, and then check for notifications and turn on the bell icon for the select all notifications, and then you'll be notified when those types of things go out. Yeah. Hey, Mandy's here, Fullster Farms. Hi guys, just passing by to say Merry Christmas to all. Going to bed now. Good night, and thanks for doing great lives, Katrina. You're welcome, and Merry Christmas to you as well. It was good having you on for the Katrina's Kits live event. We had a good time. And PJ says Merry Christmas to you all. Oh, yeah, that's right. Steve, it's New Year's Day is the day after. Okay. After the hangover? Yeah, I won't have that because I don't drink. Okay, so it is the 1st, isn't it? It's not the 31st. I don't know. I will decide later, and I will put out a post. And yeah, that's what's going to happen there. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Man, Verna was on the phone. Were you on the phone with PJ? Fullster Farms has some heart face thing. All right. Yeah. So yeah, next week I will be unavailable, but I have some videos lined up for you guys. So Fullster Farms is saying bye guys, hugs. Good night, Mandy. So I have some videos lined up for you guys, and that will be that'll be good. I am going to I have plans to do a video that's more cutesy for Christmas. I'm not going to have time to do a weekend review because I'm going to be gone most of this week anyway. But I'll have a cutesy quail watch as long as I get it done. And I already did the footage. I just need to put it together. So that will be for Christmas. If you guys want to, a lot of times for holidays, these gift holidays, people, the kids are there, and then the kids open the presents, and you have all that stuff in the morning, and then like people sit around for the rest of the day. So I thought maybe something cutesy would be good on Christmas. But yeah, I'll have my regular video schedule, and then it just won't be a weekend review. It'll be a different video on Monday. And then we'll kind of be back to regular schedule after that. And I will let you guys know if we're having a live on the 1st. I think we probably will. That's my guess. But I haven't thought it out yet. All right. Oh, Verna's saying, Blessed Yule, Mandy. Blessed Yule. All right. So do you guys have anything different for when you go on vacation or when you go on, even if you have an emergency, like any tips? I try and have the most efficient system anyway, because I work full time. I'm doing all these YouTube videos and live and stuff. And then I'm doing like all the other things I actually do in my life. So definitely the efficiency factor for what I'm doing, I really, really, really like. I like being efficient with my time so that I can do other things. I'd rather spend time with the animals than, spend time feeding the animals. So I'd rather spend time actually with them as well. So that's good. All right. Verna says, blessings all, hitting the sack. Notification will go out tomorrow. All right. Verna is into dreamland. Good night and sleep well. Val says, night all. Merry Christmas to you all. And Verna says, have a blessed Yule, everyone. To you as well, Verna. Buster said, good night, Verna. And PJ is saying that too. Yeah. So what I'm hoping is that people that watch this later will kind of get a little bit out of this conversation. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe I said it all. Hopefully you guys are letting people know what you do when you go on vacation. I think it's a really good idea to have more than one person know everything that's going on, or at least have the phone number of more than one person in case, whoever you had covering might, need backup. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Buster says good night, Val. Good morning, Val. That's what we should be saying. It's morning there. All right, PJ says, I have my nephew take care of the outside animals and my daughter the inside animals. That is good. You have backup for your family. You have people in the neighborhood that you can count on that say, hey, I know you don't do this, but can you go do XYZ? Because that would be good to do. Yeah. I think that's for sure something that's very important. And PJ, have your goats have your goats had babies yet? PJ has very pregnant goats. Goats are a lot of fun. I've never raised them or anything like that, but they are a lot of fun. The little babies are a lot of fun. I know someone that has goats and alpacas, and the alpacas are very, stay away from me. Yeah. Oh, your nephew lives on the properties. That makes sense. And no babies yet. How close are they? I feel like I've been hearing about them for a while, but I think it's because Jasmine's goats had babies, and then your goats were like right behind. Yeah. Man. Yeah. So yeah, we had that peeping quail. Did anybody's quail start peeping with that? Steve says, I think PJ's goats are faking it. My bunnies, I think, faked it. I think they're pregnant for about 8 months now. How long is their gestation? I know you're laughing, but how long is a regular goat's gestation? Joy says, I never go anywhere. I'm the one that takes care of other people's critters when they go. Hey, if you enjoy that, that is good. I would set up a backup plan just in case you need to leave. And if you don't ever have to put it into place or put it into the works, then that's fine. 5 months and they've been pregnant for 8. PJ. Oh, how funny. Yeah. Baby goats. My experience with baby goats is that they like to chew on hair. So you gotta, close everything up. Yeah. All right. So when you go on vacation, the other question is, who waters your plants, that kind of thing. And like, if you're watering your garden, like I know Vicky, if Vicky's still on here, Vicky, if you are doing a garden for the first time since 2004, there's a lot more automatic timers out there now. And there's sophisticated ones, there's not sophisticated ones, but they're battery operated, and I like those. You just have to remember to change battery every year. Because they're not hooked up to the grid. If the power's out, it doesn't matter. And it will do your water for watering your plants. And because when I water my plants, when I plant plants, if I don't water them, like if I don't set them up on automatic water, it's likely they might not get watered as much as they should. I know that's my weakness, and automatic watering for my garden is the solution. So if you're setting up a garden, definitely think about that. I would also think, and I did not do this for my garden, but if I were to do it again, I would put each bed, I would have a shut-off valve to each bed, because that way you can shut off the water. So like if you're growing garlic is good if you shut off the water for a couple weeks before you harvest. Let things harden up, let things, kind of dry out a little bit, and that's better. But if you don't have that, you can still grow garlic, but that's something that I would do if I were to redo mine, is to put a shut-off valve at every potential different system. So, yeah. Steve says, when I leave, I just look around and say, I hope you make it, and leave. That's not true. You do something. You do some prep, right? Oh my gosh. Joy is laughing at you. Yeah. That is not how usually it works. Although there is a whole lot of comfort in having things on automation, for sure. Long-term feeders, automatic water. I've been wanting to do this since before my Shire did it, and then they did it. I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. Is I want to do automatic water in the brooder, so that there's cups. And my Shire farm does that, and they start that on week 2, or after week 1, so they're a week old, and in their second week of life, when they take up the paper towel, which I need to do, they then have them they take out the waterers as well, and then they have a couple of cups that they can drink out of. Not like cups, but I think they use the one with the float valve in it. Yeah. But I was thinking about doing that, and then they did it, and I'm like, I need to do that. And they do have a video. They have a video on that showing it. They don't really have like the whole system, but I have a video about water systems that, if people are interested, let's see, water, in how to make a watering system that never runs out of water. Then water system. And that's where you want to go. And that's a very long video, but it is a video that is very detailed. So if you're already familiar with parts and stuff, you can skip a lot of it. If you're not familiar at all, then it's perfect for you to watch all the way through. But that is for sure something to think about. If you don't freeze in the winter, you can do it all year round. If you do freeze in the winter, then you can do it in the season where you don't freeze, which is good. Steve says, I'm in Mississippi. I'm surprised they didn't filter. Okay, you sent pictures to him. I don't know what it was. Was it snow? Was it flooding? Yeah. Yeah. So people have other questions or comments. I feel like we're a little slow tonight, which is fine. I do have some things I need to get done tonight still. Tomorrow's video is all about figs. I still have figs on the fig tree, and so that's what tomorrow's video is going to be about. And we have some other videos coming up about different topics. So there we go. Oh, pictures of goats. Oh boy. Yeah. So does anybody have any other topics they want to talk about? Orlando and Joy, we got you guys somewhat figured out enough. Orlando, how are the babies going if you're still on? How are the babies doing since we've gone through this live? I'm hoping that maybe you were able to transfer them to a different incubator. Steve says, my summertime auto water system died, needs cleaned, though it's winter, so it's time for manual system for 2 months. Was perfect timing. Okay. Just make sure you fix it before it's time for the automatic ones again, because that seems to happen more often than not, where you're like, oh, good, I don't have to worry this until later. And then later comes, and you're like, oh, I should have worried about that earlier. Yeah. So Steve, for your summer auto water system, do you use a float valve, and then do you hook it up to like a faucet that's on all the time, or do you fill up your bucket? Because there's ways that you can have a long-term, like you can have a long-term feeder, you can have a long-term waterer, and then you can have an everflow waterer where it's hooked up directly to a faucet that's always on, and the float valve controls whether the water comes out or not. So, yeah, I think those are good. Those are good things. Yeah. He's probably busy looking at pictures of goats. Oh boy. All right. I hope everybody's doing good. I think we had some good quail discussions today. And hopefully we got some of these answered. Yeah. Ken, are you still on? You got your garden questions good? I haven't done anything with my cactus fruits yet. I probably won't do that until after Christmas, actually. I have too many things to do. Steve says, I fill a 5-gallon bucket. I'm skeetered. The flat valve. Oh, scared? I thought you were going to say like mosquito. The flat valve will die on me. I have a 50-gallon ready to go in place soon. I use the Wynola Ranch water troughs, which I love. Good. Do you get mosquitoes in those water troughs, or does it cycle through fast enough that you don't get that? Because I was always wondering about that, because it is just water sitting there. I know the birds eat. Well, the birds probably go after the larvae anyway. I'm just reasoning things out. But I am curious about that, how that works or doesn't work, as the case may be. But I met the guys for Wynola Ranch at QuailCon, and they seem really, really good and really, really responsive to what people's needs were. So in case you guys, I know a lot of you watching already know this, but maybe some people who are new here might not. Wynola Ranch got together with My Shire Farm, and really My Shire Farm and people at I think the first QuailCon, because I wasn't there, might have been the second one, but it was the first one, that they actually redesigned a cage system for quail with My Shire Farm at QuailCon. And suggestions at QuailCon. So like they do listen to people and respond, which is awesome. It's an awesome. Yeah. So Steve says, not in the troughs. I've seen them in the 5-gallon bucket a time or two when I forget to put the lid on. Could you have like a fish that lives in there? I mean, you might need to clean your lines a little faster. But that would be interesting to have like just some fish that live in there. I don't know. I'm making things up. I have no idea if that's a good idea or not. It seems like that might introduce potential bacteria into your system, which would not be good. But I've seen them in cattle troughs. Why not? Why not Wynola troughs or the bucket? You get little catfish that will eat all the algae. I'm just being silly now. I'm just getting silly. You'd forget to feed it. So this is what you do. You use a white bucket so it gets algae, and you put a catfish in there, and then it'll eat it off the algae. You can grow like plants in it and stuff. So I don't know. I'm making things up now. You want the fish to die and forget to feed it. Nope. Algae eaters, not a bad idea now. See? You just need some sucker fish, some catfish or different sucker fish. PJ's laughing at me. I think I'm tired. What do you guys think? I still have stuff I need to do tonight. Yeah. Yeah. So if you are making a do-it-your-own water, whether it's long-term or not long-term or everflow or not everflow, make it out of a bucket that is dark colored, or paint your bucket dark color, because if you use a white one, you're going to get algae, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but too much of it is a bad, could clog your system and may become a bad thing. And it may be kind of a mat to grow, more harmful stuff on. But yeah, if you do it in a white bucket, like I know most food grade buckets are white, not all of them, but the cheaper ones are. And so those I don't recommend using. However, I did use that for 2 of mine. So the one for the main aviary has a white bucket and it does get algae. But the one for the chickens, it's up and under the eaves, the chickens and the rabbits, it's up and under the eaves in total shade, and it doesn't get any direct sun. And when I cleaned it out last, it really kind of didn't need cleaning, visually at least. It had a lot. I mean, it didn't have any algae at all. It was just white still on the inside. So if you can shade it, that'll be the same effect. Yeah. Yeah, PJ said if it's in the sun. And Steve says keep the bucket out of the sun as well. It makes the water pretty warm, even if it is a dark bucket. That is a good suggestion as well. So you don't want to superheat your water and, have your birds have hot water to drink. But then also warm water would probably be more likely to harbor, bacteria and things like that too. So I don't have any evidence to support that, but it is a potential that I can see. So yeah, type of bucket. Also, you have to think about your situation and think about how much water you want available for your birds if your water was to stop. Now, everybody's situation is going to be different. Most people's water is not going to stop. Most people that are on tap water or even your own well water, city water or whatever, very few times does water actually stop coming out of the tap. But if you have a reservoir, like a 55-gallon drum, like a 5-gallon bucket, like a 2.5-gallon bucket, then you have that much water that can go through the line before it runs out. So it's the same reason, like if your water gets shut off somehow for some reason and you have a hot water heater, well, if you have a tankless heater, you don't have any water. And if you have the tank, the hot water tank, then that you have that water to use. I also have a pond, but that's something to think about as well, because you don't need a 5-gallon bucket. So like the one that's in the video is the one that goes to the raviary, which is 2 rabbits and their babies if they have babies, and all the quail that are under them. And that has a 2.5-gallon Lowe's bucket, it's a bucket this big. And it really only needs to hold as much water as, let's see, the amount of water it needs to hold needs to be more than the amount of water that is going out versus the amount of water coming in. So if the amount of water going out goes out at a rate that equals water coming in, then your bucket's going to stay at a level level amount. If you're draining your bucket and then having to refill it, that's at a deficit. Then you're probably going to want a bigger container to hold that water, because you don't want them sucking that dry. Because then if you have water in the lines, that's another potential issue with pressure in the system. So I don't know if I'm babbling or saying intelligible things. Steve says keep the bucket. Oh, you already read that, or I already read that. Yeah. So I think those are the key things about water. I wasn't going to talk about water today, but it came up. PJ says, Katrina, the tarp you have diverting the water from your aviary, does that go to a holding tank? It just falls off the tarp right now. I wanted to put a gutter on it to aim it towards something, but I haven't yet, and I don't know that I don't know that's going to happen, honestly. But it could definitely hold a lot of water, but the question would be, where would I put that tank? Because I have a very small yard, so it's 7,000 square foot lot. That includes the house and the garage and the screening porch and and then the growing space. And so the question would be, where would I put that tank? And then, because I'm in the city, if you have a certain size of a tank, you need permits. I don't remember what size that is. I did look into that when I was going to do a bunch of rainwater collection, but it kind of was like, again, this is California and there's permits everywhere. Yeah. But could I do that? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's working, so that's good. PJ says, okay. You approve. It is working though, and it's diverting the water away, which is really great. We had the same structure last year, but what happened differently this year is I added those boards, the plywood on that overhang, so that it didn't like sink down and bulge. Because before what we were doing is like, okay, here's this bulge of water, got to push it up and push it out, and then everything else would get wet. But I think this system is going to work really well. There's one board that's a little short. Like, I think if I find some scrap wood, I might switch it out. If not, it might be okay. But yeah. Yeah. And Steve says, build it into your auto water system. A 55-gallon drum near your aviary doesn't take that much room. That is true. That is true. What I have is working though. Yeah, that is true. I would have to divert it and then like pipe it around somehow, which can be done. But yeah, I was going to do all sorts of water catchment stuff, like alongside the screen and porch and alongside the garage, and I just haven't done it. Yeah, haven't done it. Eric's here. Hello, all. Welcome, Eric. Welcome. Hope you're doing good. PJ says hi. About time, Eric. Steve says, oh no, Eric's is not feeling well tonight. I'm super late. I'm sorry about that. I hope you're feeling better soon. And Steve says sorry for that. PJ says feel better, Eric. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Eric, for the super sticker. Thank you. Should I get out the baby chick again? Eric didn't get to see. Eric, you want to see the chick? I can go get it. Might be the same one, might not be. I'll go get it. That way you guys can see it again and Eric can see it for the first time. Maybe at least make you smile if you're not feeling good. You were there on Sunday? You were spying on us? I could not see any of the comments on the Katrina's kits at all. And I think it's something that I did the setup in StreamYard, I think. So I need to before next month, I need to figure out how to appropriately set that up so I can see the comments. And you should have said something because PJ was following along with the comments, I think. And we would have sent you a thing so you can come on and talk on that. Sorry. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you cook with us or did you just watch? Yeah, it was a really weird thing. I couldn't see anybody's comments. It said there were 0 people there, but then like Mandy called me and she's like, "I'm here. I'm commenting. What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know." I don't know. And Steve says Eric's lottery win will be gone soon. Eric says, I told jokes on set. You did. I'm going to have to go back and look at the comments of that video. It was a long video, so I'm not going to see all of it again, but a long one. Steve says, yes, fix that, then turn on text to speech. I don't know what text to speech is. You can do that in StreamYard? I don't know what these things are. Oh, you just watched, Eric? Hopefully it was good. Hopefully it was fun. Yeah, we had a fun time. Next time, join us. Yeah, PJ was running into the family room to check the TV. She got some exercise. All right, I'm gonna go get a chick so you guys can see a chick. All right, I lied. I got 2 chicks. Let me fix this pillow behind me first. So I'm going to show you. Okay. This is the size. Ooh. This is the size of all of the chicks but one. You're being very calm, babe. And probably not the one we had before because it's very calm. And this is a little chick of the same age. So that one, I'm trying to find the camera. These guys, ooh, hi, bud. Are you going to be in that hand? Okay. So they're the same age, and they are vastly different sizes. And that happens every once in a while. Usually, if they're really small, they end up dying very early. So this one hasn't died, and it's doing good. It will just be a smaller chick, and we will not have him or her, probably him, in the breeding program. But you can see how they are. They both want to be in the same hand. Okay. Okay. So it's a small one behind and the big one in front. All right. Eric says, did you know Santa knows karate? He wears a black belt. Cute chicks. Yeah, they are cute chicks. And you guys are being quiet. Are you guys girls? The boys are noisy, huh? You just warm in my hands. You can see their feathers coming in. It'll be a while before their head feathers come in. They just have their baby feathers now. But you guys are at a very awkward angle. Here we go. So small one over here, big one over here. And they are from the same hatch. No idea if the same parents, right? Is my thumb comfy? This one has its chin on my thumb. Yeah, you're gonna sleep there? Anyway, they're fun. PJ says, I miss baby chicks. Hatch some. You said you needed to get some eggs going, right? Hatch some. Hey buddy, where you going? Where you going? These ones are much calmer than the one I showed you guys earlier. All right. What's the plan for the chicks? My plan this time is Steve saying to PJ, I know how you can get some chicks. Oh, you have to clean the incubator. Okay, that's valid. They must be female. That is not my plan. I'm actually looking for males. So I'm looking to replace my breeder males in my aviary. And so the biggest ones that are nice to the ladies are going to go in there. And I do want to replace some of my females in the aviary, but not a lot of them, because I do want 2 different age groups in there, because I believe they're going to molt at different times then. And then when they molt, they tend to not lay eggs, although this time and several times they keep on laying eggs. But and so my goal is to get the males primarily, and then the remaining males and females will be meat. So the females are usually bigger than the males. I know whenever I look at, I gotta move my hands, guys. I gotta move my hands. Here, let's go this way. I know whenever I look at like, hey, I want to keep big males. Let's find all the big males. Well, all the big males that I look for, I'm like, oh, let's keep you. Oh, you're female. Let's keep you. Oh, you're female. So I'm looking for the big males so I can continue a good line of big for meat. And then, hi, you're going to go under the little one? Where are you going, dude? You want out of the spotlight? So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to put these guys back. Ta-da! And I'll be right back. All right. And then the other thing is I am raising some of those males as a little demonstration thing for Quail University for my aviary course. Then I have something I need to cover about winter and males with a video. So yeah. Eric says, I bought a chicken and an egg online. I let you know which comes first. Oh boy. Steve asks, do you hatch one aviary at a time so you can keep the line straight? It depends what I'm doing. So right now I wanted to keep the line straight because I am looking for new males. If it's just meat, or if I'm just like, I typically will take eggs from both aviaries. If it's just meat, and maybe somebody might buy some chicks later. Usually people don't really care which ones they're getting, and they're different colors, so you can tell them apart. But you always have, I know I have some Egyptian genetics in my, with my wild ones. I used to have the jumbo Egyptians with the jumbo wilds, and just because they're jumbo, and that was my jumbo. And then I had a jumbo in the colors. And I've since changed that to just the big ones for meat, and then the other ones just for a different color. I think that's going to be interesting for like the hatch when I do the hatching program. But yeah, as a general rule, unless I'm breeding for breeders, I don't pay attention to what's what. I have jumbo Egyptian. No, I don't. I have jumbo wild in one. And again, I do have at least some genes that are Egyptian. And then in the other one, I have the Egyptian fees, which are nearly jumbo size. So as far as like eating, I eat from both of them. So does that answer your question? Yeah. Eric says, why does a chicken coop have only 2 doors? If it had 4, it would be a chicken sedan. Oh boy. PJ's heading to bed. 4 a.m. comes earlier every day. I don't want to wake up at 4 a.m., PJ. Yeah. Good luck with that. Good night. Good night. Thank you for coming. She says, night all. Have a Merry Christmas. Stu saying good night. Eric says, why did the chicken cross the road? To prove to the possum and the raccoon that it could be done. What? I don't get the joke. Is there more? Interesting. Buster's saying good night to PJ too. All right. Yeah, so I hatch for 2 reasons. One is to replace breeders, and 2 is to produce meat. And if I'm producing meat, I also produce, the chicks that people can buy. I don't have a big business doing that, but yeah, I do have some of that. So, yeah. Eric says, why can't a nose here? Because it doesn't have an eye. I don't know about you, Eric. Steve says, how many possums and raccoons have you seen in the road as opposed to chickens? Got it. I get the joke now. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, possums and raccoons do get hit on the road quite a bit. Quite a bit. And around here, the possums and the skunks get hit more often during breeding season because they're going back and forth across the road more. And so you always know, like, when you start seeing a bunch of possums getting hit on the road abnormally high, you're like, oh, I guess it's possum breeding season. Yeah. Thank you for explaining the joke to me, Steve. I think I am tired. Oh, boy. Alrighty. It is coming up on 8 o'clock, so I am thinking it is time for me to get off of here and work on some things and then go to sleep. I need to sleep. Oh my gosh, and Yusuf just came on. Good evening to all. Good evening, Yusuf. I was just about to say good night. Did you find your puppy? I would like to know this, and I hope you do. I hope you have. Okay, we're going to stay on a little bit later. Eric came late. Yusuf came late. Okay. Couple more minutes. Only a couple, though. Yeah, I want to know if you found your puppy, because that is really disappointing that he was gone. No 24-hour stream, Eric. Oh, Steve says right on time, Yusuf. Oh, Pup's still missing? Do you think he was taken? Like, because those are expensive dogs, and I would wonder if he was taken. Like, if someone stole him. Because, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so Eric, he has a livestock guardian dog. It did get stolen. Okay. Yeah, got stolen only 3 days after he came here. Oh, Yusuf, that sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, he said is 99% stolen. He couldn't have gotten out at all. That sucks. That really, really, really sucks. At least you know he's probably alive. That's a good thing. But hopefully you reported to the police. Yeah. Yeah, Eric. It says in Vietnam they sadly eat dogs there. Yep. The type of dog that Yusuf got was a livestock guardian dog, and they guard the livestock. They guard the property and stuff. So yeah, that sucks that he was stolen. And then it makes you take pause if you're gonna like get another one, right? I wonder if a guard goose would work for you, Yusuf. A guard goose might work. Yep, at least the coyote didn't get him or anything. Yeah, I mean it's a small, like, it's a consolation prize, right? That he's probably going to be, sold to somebody. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Eric, it's a dog like Toby Dog, a puppy. And Buster says, Yusuf, sorry to hear that. But I do wonder if a guard goose would work for you. Exactly, Yusuf. It's an expensive pup. It might have been someone stole him to sell him. That's the only reason I would think that they would steal a dog, which I still think is ridiculous that someone would do that. So, yeah. Yep. Look like a Toby Dog. Yeah. All right. I am waning, and I have some work I have to get done and a video to post tonight. So I think I am going to get off now. Oh, no guard geese. Too loud. Neighbors will complain. But this breed is unique because it's very calm. Okay. Yeah, he did say that last week, Eric. Yeah. Okay. Darn. Hopefully it got reported to the police, and hopefully, if someone's doing this to more people, maybe they'll catch them. And, it might not return the dog, but at least maybe will help stop, other people's dogs from disappearing. So, yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you, Yusuf. It says goodnight. And no live next Monday because it's going to be Christmas. And I don't yet know if I'm going to do a live on the 1st. I'm thinking I'm going to, because as Steve reminded me, that's not New Year's Eve, it's New Year's Day. I'm thinking I'm going to, but I will put a post in the community chat or the community posting community page. There we go. So if you don't have your notifications on, turn those on. And yeah, but we're skipping next Monday. I'll have a fun video for you guys on Christmas. And then, then the following Monday, I'm thinking we're going to do it. I'm like leaning that direction, but I will let you guys know for sure before that time. So, and thank you, Eric, for another super sticker. It says, good night. Buster says, I'll take care. Yes. All right. Good night, everyone. We will see you probably in 2 weeks, and I'll see you in the videos. Until then, thank you for coming and hanging out. Have a wonderful Christmas and New Year, and we will see you after that. Good night.